going to cover the basic principles, non-negotiables that is required in any relationship with your partner. That's a simple thing. Okay, I'm going to share with you all the key things that I've captured in the book, and it's about and right from why I'm talking to you on this topic is, let me share with you, is that I have lived my 19 years of my married life, okay, with my wife, with some amazing practices, some of the things that I have captured in the book. And this book is uh, this book was is a brainchild of mine, because I wanted to make sure that I capture those practices, I capture those secrets, how I nurtured my relationship with my partner. Okay, number one. And number two, I'm going to, and this topic is very close to me. It's not right now that I'm helping people in the relationship. I mean, as a, not as a coach as such, but as a mentor in the past, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and that's what I was doing before I finally put this together in just 6 months time period. All my and everything. I've got some stories in this book where I've helped people out and how it has been done, this captured. So I'm sharing this, all the secrets with you. What is something that is really required, and I'm going to share with you. And if you want, you can always go and procure this book. But I'm going to cover everything from this book, whatever is required. Okay, that's what. So number one point that we need to look at. The first thing that you need to understand is that first work on yourself. A lot of times we say, because my partner is not supporting me, my partner is like this, my partner is like this, he is or she is doing like that, because of which my relationship is not doing good. My sincere request and my sincere appeal to all the participants is that we need to first work on ourselves. You got to become like a partner the way you want your partner to be. You got to become like that first, okay? Because it's important to work on oneself and not dwell on imperfection of other. Because if you and become the partner, you become like the partner you used to have in your life. That's what it is. First of all, prove that you at least can be like that, what you want your partner to be. Now, a lot of times, I tell you one more thing. You cannot change anybody around you. You cannot change the basic personality of your father, your mother, your brother, your friend, your sister, whosoever, your spouse. You cannot change the basic personality. Everybody has got their own upbringing. Everybody has got their own values. Everybody has got their own strength. Everybody's got their own weakness. Nobody is perfect in the world. You cannot change the basic personality. You can only influence to a certain extent. What is important to look at is that if you're looking forward to have a good relationship with your partner, you got to become like a partner you wish to have in your life. First of all, you got to prove that. That's the number one principle. Okay, number one principle. If you believe that I should not change, why should I? If you believe that I'm good, if I do everything right, what if my partner doesn't do it? I don't believe in that. The reason is because I've seen a couple uh, in my program, in my mastermind. The lady called, she's a doctor. She's she had a long distance relationship for 10 years. Okay, 10 years. And she was able to resolve her relationship because when she discovered what is important to her, what is something that when she truly discovered herself, and that is the day that she actually resolved a long distance relationship for 10 years with her partner. She took action. Had she believed that, why should I move forward? And if he's not changing, if I change myself, if it doesn't work, it would not work. A lot of people have the belief that if both the partners should work equally to the relationship. Absolutely true. Both partners are required to do that. But there has to be a start from one partner. Who is going to make that start? So my sincere thing is that we need to first work on ourselves and make that first step. And I've seen 75% or 80% of cases the relationship become better because people have shed their egos and they've taken work for themselves and moved forward. And that's the fundamental principle that I'm sharing with you. This is the most important point. First, work on yourself. Okay. Yeah. Number two, communicate to care. Now, communication is the most important aspect. A lot of people miss out on this aspect. And I always tell this very honestly. I was talking about emotional transparency, right? Emotional, security in a relationship. It comes through some actions. It cannot come overnight. It has to come through some actions. Now, when a partner feels that he or she is being appreciated actually for whatever they're doing, How many times we appreciate for what they're doing good? How many times we at least we make a genuine effort to say good job, thank you in whatever they. I mean, I know we say that thank you and sorry not required in good friendship. A relationship is a good friendship actually, but still there is a need to make your partner feel that you are there for him or her. There is a need to make sure that it is said that yes, I appreciate you what you do. And say thank you. Now you know what. Uh, I'll tell you a very common example. What happens nowadays? Our parents, our spouses, many times now when you're having a dinner or a lunch or whatever, they prefer to give us warm chapatis. Okay, and you will be sitting and eating those warm chapatis on the table, and they will be actually making warm chapati and giving it to you on the table. Okay, they will give you on the serve on the table. Because you like warm chapati from childhood. They are so passionate about giving you a warm chapati. They will have the dinner later or the lunch later, but they will prefer to give you a warm chapati or a warm whatever. I mean, what you were looking at, and what typically mostly people do is that they take this for granted. And one day they don't get that warm thing. Most of the people they start thinking, if the tone is like this, क्या खराब खाना क्या ठंडा खाना खिला दिया आज कितना बिल्कुल ही बेकार बनाया मजा ही नहीं आ रहा खाने में मुझे. If this is what you respond at that, if you got react like that, how will that change your chemistry with your partner or anybody in the family? Think about it. And if you just say like that, I've seen, if somebody, like say for example, every day if you like say a non-vegetarian or you like a vegetarian food, very favorite of yours, which your wife makes or which your mother makes or whosoever makes it, and one day the salt is less or salt is extra or some spices are missing, if you go and tell like that, what क्या बकवास खाना बना हुआ है कितना अच्छा नहीं है बिल्कुल बेकार सा है मजा नहीं आ रहा खाने में, if you just say that and react to it, versus if you just say that, I mean, you can say darling, honey, whatever you call it, baby, whatever you call to your wife or a husband, whatever actually, if you say like that ki you always make this lovely, actually there's something wrong today, but I think maybe you are busy so it could not happen like that or whatever. I mean, there's a way to say that if you say with the communicate, okay, because every time it comes out well, and if there's a reaction, there's no reaction but response to that makes a big difference. It's about appreciating when the things are good and also saying that when and avoiding negative reinforcement, like you never do it, you always make it bad, hurry up, you're always late, get it right for a change, insults, put down. A lot of people use these words. And that's just stupid. Why can't you ever understand? You never do it. Now, these are the words to avoid, because these are negative reinforcement. Actually, this can really take a relationship from a hill to the bottom. Actually, that's what happens. The point of entire essence of this is that you got to appreciate something good is happening. Whatever, and nobody's perfect. You got to appreciate, and you got to control you got to respond, not react on situations which are not in your control at that moment. Okay, that's important. Third point, supporting and pampering are very important. There has to be a nature of pampering and caring and supporting nature. Never put your spouse and say negative about your spouse in front of others. This is the blunder people make. Blunder that my spouse is like this. He or she never understands me. In going to their other friends group, they keep spreading negative vibes about their partner. This is I've seen happening, and this can be one of the major reasons, because you never know. You get into a habit of saying that to strangers, to your friends, to your colleagues, that, oh, my wife doesn't understand me at all. If you're putting your wife negative in front of others, this is something a blunder people make. I can tell you honestly, this is what should be avoided. No one's life is bed of roses. No matter how rich a person is, how a strong person is, there always comes a time when you need someone to care for you, support them. Okay, and that's the age when we get into. So we need to sow the right seeds to make sure, because I've seen in this COVID times, it's a biggest lesson for all of us. In fact, I mean, we are in the young age. In fact, we're in the age of 35, 40, 30 age. I've seen an elderly couple staying alone, and a husband passed away, elderly husband of 75 years of age. There was no one who could actually come. Not even the children could come at home actually. And it was only the spouse who did everything for that person. Can you believe that? I've seen that. One of my close friend actually, in his family, it happened. And At certain point in life, kids will grow up, kids will go off, kids will actually go to different college and this thing. Only person who is going to be with you is going to be a spouse. Nobody else. Nobody else. Nobody else. That's a fact. Either we choose to stay alone, or we choose to have a partner, or we choose to have a good relationship with a partner so that we actually live a beautiful life for future. That's the bottom. That's what people need to think. And this is something that has given a big lesson. Trust me, honestly, I'm telling you, this is what I'm getting goosebumps because I've experienced that what people have experienced. I've seen that couple actually. I've known them very closely, and this is what happened. And that really shows how relationship is so important. This aspect is so important in a life, and if we don't really work for it, life takes over. And a lot of people are going through a difficult time, and both couples don't understand this part, that nothing is a bed of roses. We got to work for it. We got to nurture relationship. Relationship is not to be, it need to be nurtured. It is not developed. It is not only developed, it needs to be nurtured. Because अब शादी हो गई, आपने साथ फेरे ले लिया, आपने जो भी कर लिया, मैरिज के बाद तो शादी हो गया, वो शादी नहीं होता भाई. शादी is only you are marrying two different personalities, completely two different nature of people. You got to nurture that. You need to understand. I have got a lot of stories to share about my initial marriage. When I got married, I have learned a lot in that period. How I knew my wife. I'll share in detail later, by the way, but not today. I'm going to do that. That's something very interesting. I'm going to share with you because it's about how you understand your spouse's values. Okay, first of all, you need to understand your core values, and that is how when I understood myself, that's when I started understanding. Because a lot of people say that कि मेरी wife मेरे को समझती नहीं है. अरे अपने आप को नहीं समझते हम भाई. Forget about your wife or husband who doesn't understand you. We do not know ourselves, what we like, what we don't like. We don't know our own values, and that's where it is important to be know that. And caring, supporting, and pampering is one reason that you got to pamper. I mean, you got to it's a very small gesture. You hold your spouse's hand and walk in the evening outside. This is a small gesture. It's called pampering. This is called supporting and really show that you care. दिल से करने का वाला काम है. This is exactly what is important. I always honestly really do that because I really would like people to really make a note of this point. Pampering is required everywhere. Everyone needs pampering. Everyone, your husband, your wife, everybody needs pampering. You got to show that pampering actually. Number 4, agreement and unity. You got to be, couple must do the best to stay in agreement. When family has unity, all the members find success after success. Now, a family is disunified, the family has failure after failure. That's a fact. If your couple is not united in their decision, they're not united in their approach, not united in their journey together, it creates an impact on the children. It creates an impact on the larger family. And I've seen that happening. And this is the most important thing, that how you come up to agreement and unity point of view. Okay, this is number 4. Number 5, focus on we instead of me. Okay, शादी के पहले सारा मेरे पैसे, मेरी life, मेरा career, everything is mine. Me. The shift has to happen to we. There has to be a right mindset to shift towards we instead of me. A lot of people are not able to move towards me to we. That's one reason why people have failed relationship, struggling relationship, because they still focus on themselves. They don't even bother about how we should move ahead together as a couple. Now, it's about...
excuse me, sir.
Sure, Samira.
Can you please explain the 4th point once again?
Sure. Agreement in unity is like, are you in agreement on whatever you think? Are you in alignment to you and your spouse are in alignment to whatever you are thinking? Like, say for example, you're going for a house, you're going to buy a house, or you want to buy your spouse might say, I want to go for a flat. You might say, no, independent house is better, say for example. Or you might say that, no, my son has to study in this school or this college. Your husband says, no, he has to study here. There's a lot of, and this is one basic example I'm giving you. Why? And sometimes what happens is that we take it so in a different way. We have our own point of view, and we do not sit together and really honestly discuss that. We don't come to agreement and united on decision, because we have our own decision making process. We decide. Like, say for example, if Ganesh is very good in deciding something, and if his wife is saying that no, this is the way I do it, I've done it in the past and it has worked, Ganesh says no, it has worked like this. Now if they stick to these 2 arguments, It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. What is important is that you got to list down what are the different pros and cons of it. It has to be a dialogue. It has to be a communication where pointed to the solution to the problem, not at the person. A lot of people actually start pointing finger at the spouse and say that you are wrong. It's not, nobody is right or wrong. It's about their own perspective and experience. And you got to have a closure to it by looking at what are the options, what are the pros and cons of each option. Looking at a larger perspective. People do not know how they want to see the children grow in the next 10 years. Or forget about the children. They don't know themselves how they want to see the relationship in the next 10 years. They don't want to see that. And this is where it's important to have that unity. Because if you and a spouse are united, your children are learning the same from you. Children learning the same from how you are managing. Now you have seen your parents grow, right? And I tell you, the most commonly the people, what children today in today's world are facing challenges. They're getting married. The young lot, especially all the millennial crowd, they've seen their parents either disunited in the past. They were not united at all. They were having challenges. And I have example of people. My own colleague actually, she doesn't want to get married because she has seen bad marriages of a parent, of her parents actually, and a lot of different challenges in her own life when she was a child. She doesn't want to get married and she believes that men are sick. Can you believe that? And this is one of the beliefs that she carries. Now, so how it is impacting the children? That's what a lot of times couples are married. If the relationship is not good, ask them why, what is stopping you to have a good, what is bothering you right now? I want to get separated, but I'm living for my son, I'm living for my daughter. For God's sake, don't do it. So you got to live for yourself, for the couple. Don't live for a son or a daughter actually. Because if you're doing that, your daughter or son is actually going through a difficult time. And when the kid grows up, he's going to see what's happening. Kids are smart, they understand everything what's happening around. And this is what is happening. I've seen my family, to be very frank, I'm sharing my family details with you. My cousins actually are experiencing this. And they're now in a better shape because they've decided what to do next. They've got a clear path, how they want to move forward. It's not about, it's very easy to say, because of my son, I'm having this relationship. Come on, leave the son. Son has just started his life. You got to live first of all for yourself. You can't stop living as a couple actually. That's what agreement and unity is important. You got to be in agreement. You got to come to a closure. If I told you, right, people avoid confrontations. Have confrontation, a healthy confrontation. See, when you work in a corporate, what we do, we work in a companies, right? When you're talking to your peers or a colleague, what we say, guys, no hard feelings. Let's talk very openly. What is the pros and cons of it? You go to the board and write down, this is approach, this second approach. You list down, everybody comes to the meetings and okay, agreed. Right? Why can't we do this at home? A simple bottom line point is this. Okay, and this is the required thing actually. So I hope I answered a question, Amira. Yeah, understood?
Yes, very clearly.
Super,
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. Next part. Focus on B. I told you what it has to. And now this is what is important. You got to be emotionally and financially secure in the relationship. Okay, you got to have that security with yourself. You need to be open. You need to be open at. This is one reason I really appreciate people who are transparent, have a transparency between them. They have a good relationship. No doubt. This is the point that if this is happening, the relationship is taken care of. Everything will actually be managed if this is happening. If there's a transparency. Transparency in financial matters, transparency in emotional matters. Emotional transparency is what? Emotional transparency is when you know what your wife wants, when you know what your husband wants. You are able to share openly. You are able to talk about anything in the world. You are able to even set boundaries with the parent. Together you set boundaries. What your parents should not interfere. When our parents should interfere. When our parents should not interfere. When should I go to our parents for a suggestion? When not to go. It's not level का discussion अगर आप कर सकते हो. That is what transparency means. Set relationship goals. This is another you need to set your goals for yourself. You need to set what are your goals for the next 5 years as a relationship with a couple. People don't think. Where I see my relationship in the next 5 years, people don't think. And this is what people make. They're living in current is important, but it cannot be, without any relationship goal. Relationship goal can be any goal. You might want to go for a Europe trip actually together after 5 years. You might want to save together. You both are earning, right? Now somebody might open a SIP actually for monthly SIPs for say 5 years for going for a Europe trip. That's fine. You want to have fund children education. That's another goal for yourself as a couple. Now, if you don't set those, how do you actually fund it? These kind of questions will never come, right? And this is where, now I'll tell you what me, my vision is to go for, in 5 years, I want to travel the world, to be very frank, okay? I've been to US, I've been to Singapore, I've been to, all these places actually, but I really want to go to Europe. That's my favorite place actually. I want to go there. That's my long time wish. And you know what I've done? My wife is earning as a teacher. I'm doing my work. And we have actually, I'm doing SIPs for my son's education, daughter's education. And she is doing investment for traveling. Can you believe that? So we have decided that we're going to do the next 5 years where we want to be. And this is what we are doing. And we don't ask each other a question. This is the amount of SIP is going every month. SIP is going here. I'm telling you openly actually. Okay? Because there's a transparency that is required that has to be there. You got to set a goal. People don't set goals, and this is where people fall back actually, and the relationship will grow only when you have common goals together. There's transparency involved. I hope that I hope it all makes sense, right? Guys, please give me a thumbs up if you agree with me here, yeah, because I really want acknowledgement. I'm sharing some things which are pretty much practical that has to happen, okay, and it's what I've covered in my book as well, and in detail actually if you look at, and that's what I'm sharing with you right now. Next, 6th point. Be honest. Again, the second part of transparency, being honest to each other. Have an environment to open conversation. Open conversation. And no relationship can work if you just start to talk about anything to your partner. Career, marriage, sex, your values, opinion, anything. If you're not able to talk openly for anything about this to your partner, that means you're not in a great shape in a relationship. You got to build an environment. You can only create an environment. If you say that my partner doesn't listen to me, or partner doesn't doing that, guys, again, point number 1, work for yourself first. Work on yourself. Work on yourself first. Be the partner that you want your partner to be. Be like a partner the way you want your partner to be. That's the funda simple. Please remember that very clearly. Okay? And that's what is important. Number 7. The relationship flourish only when the relationship is a priority. We are so engrossed in other aspects of life, your career, so many things we do, our entertainment. We are so passionate about our own life, about career. मुझे career में ये करना है, वो करना है. We somehow tend to lose the relationship with the. We set less priority for that, and people who actually put relationship as priority, they actually have a good bonding. That's the whole point. It's a priority again, okay? And equal focus in this aspect of life, the way you give focus to your health and career, you've got to give focus here. And this is what I mostly do in my programs. I help people decide the focus area. I help people look at what focus they need to put where and how. That's important. Number 8, never go to bed angry. Guys, this is one of the important points. A lot of people go to bed angry saying something happened. Oh my God. Whatever happened in the day has to be resolved in the day and sleep off. Okay? Don't have to carry for the next day. Don't have to carry in your sleep or whatever actually. Don't have to carry that.